I want to speak about the incident that may at first appear little more than a sideshow to the pomp of Donald Trump's second state visit to Britain, but which in fact raises profound questions about free expression, policing, and the uneasy marriage of politics and monarchy. I'm talking about the projection of images linking President Trump to Jeffrey Epstein on the walls of Windsor Castle by the activist group led by donkeys, and the subsequent arrest of 4 individuals. On Tuesday night, as Trump prepared to be feted with carriage processions and a white tie banquet, a 9-minute film flickered across the medieval stone of Windsor. The film detailed Trump's relationship with Epstein, including the much-debated letter celebrating Epstein's 50th birthday. Images of Epstein, his victims, even Trump's 2023 mugshot accompanied the projection, and the activists had hired a hotel room, brought a projector in discreetly, mapped the castle walls with the royal crest, and launched their stunt. Within 7 minutes, police were hammering on the door, but not before the full 9 minutes had played. 4 men were arrested on suspicion of malicious communications, a charge that might reasonably be associated with threats, stalking, or harassment, but which was stretched to cover a political protest in the form of projected image that did no harm to the walls at all. As the campaigners themselves noted, they had staged perhaps 30 such projections in the past without a single arrest. Their conclusion was blunt. This time the arrest came not because of the method, but because of the target. And the campaigners insist they broke no law, no property was damaged, no one was injured, and their message, however embarrassing, was factual in content and journalistic in style. If anything, it was a 21st century version of pamphleteering or holding up a placard, and the notion that it amounted to malicious communications is, as they put it, ridiculous or even Orwellian. For a liberal democracy that constantly stresses the importance of peaceful protest, the sight of 4 men arrested for projecting journalism onto a wall ought to trouble us. The group's accusation is that this heavy-handed response reflects not British law, but Trump's thin skin and the desire of police and security services to avoid embarrassing him during his Windsor pageant. There is irony here. Trump, who thrives on outrage, who projects himself endlessly on social media and television, suddenly required projection from a projection itself. That symbolism was not lost on the activists who likened their stunt to the parable of the emperor's new clothes. That this played out at Windsor Castle, one of the most potent symbols of British monarchy, intensifies the meaning. Here was a clash between medieval walls and modern protest technology, between ancient power and contemporary dissent, and the castle was lit not with heraldic splendour, but with the mugshot of a US president and the face of a convicted paedophile. In artistic terms, the projection was a temporary fresco of political defiance, erased not with lime wash, but with police torches and handcuffs. And this is not an isolated quarrel over Trump's ego. It touches larger currents in British public life. We are in a moment where peaceful protest is increasingly hemmed in by law, from the policing of Extinction Rebellion to the curbing of demonstrations outside Parliament to Just Stop Oil. To arrest men for projecting a film is to raise the spectre of a public sphere where embarrassment becomes criminalised. The arrest also casts a shadow over the carefully choreographed state visit, revealing a nervousness beneath the orchestration of pageantry. There's also something deliciously apt in the method. Projection is the essence of politics. I wonder how much Trump has projected, and on whom. Leaders project strength, nations project power, protesters project dissent. Boris Johnson stained the sofa, we are told. Trump's political career has been a theatre of projection, projecting blame, projecting grievance, projecting his own mythology. And that his critics should use projection literally to puncture his visit is a reminder of how form and message intertwine. So was this a stunt? Was it disrespectful? Undoubtedly. Was it criminal? Well, that remains far from clear. The deeper question is whether Britain wishes to be the kind of country where dissent against a controversial foreign leader is suppressed with handcuffs. The walls of Windsor have seen centuries of rebellion and subversion. Barons demanding Magna Carta, parliamentarians rising up against kings. To add a 9-minute film about Trump and Epstein is the latest chapter in a long history of subjects insisting on their right to speak truth to power. Projection at Windsor was more than a gimmick. It was a mirror held up to our politics, showing us perhaps uncomfortably that sometimes what is projected onto a wall tells us more about ourselves than about the man whose face appears on that wall.